Hey everyone, I am Charlotte Samuel and thank you for joining us for our game day treats and eats virtual cooking class. Joining me today is the charming and knowledgeable Chef Scott Tompkins.
Oh, you're talking about me? I thought you were talking about somebody else. I thought you were going to describe somebody else.
Nope.
Thank you.
You.
What an intro. How do I live up to that?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You are excited. I'm excited too. So we have a busy lineup today. We are doing 5 different recipes. We are going to do a Copycat White Castle slider. We are going to do an oven fried or oven roasted chicken wing. 2 sauces that are fantastic on all types of chicken, not just wings. And we're going to do one of my personal favorites, chili con queso, or as we call it here in South Texas, just queso.
Just queso. All right, I got a question for you, Chef.
Let's go, Tompkins.
You said White Castle burger. Yes. Will you explain what, I've never eaten a white, I know what they are, but will you explain what is a White Castle burger? Why is it different from my regular Whataburger or whatever I made, burger joint?
Well, White Castle, it's kind of nostalgic, but White Castle is like the original slider, right? So like they called them like belly busters and belly bombers, but it's the original slider. It's a super light slider bun with a very thin patty that's been steamed on a bed of onions.
Steamed on a bed of onions?
Yes, it's super delicious.
I'm excited.
Super delicious.
I'm ready to learn.
We're gonna start that right now, but I wanted to touch on another like chefy topic before we get into this. We're doing quite a few recipes, so we're doing the 5 recipes, and so I wanted to talk about something called mise en place, right? So I'm sure you may have heard about mise en place from movies about cooks and chefs, and they refer to it as mise, but mise en place means, it's a French term that means everything in its place or a place for everything. And when you're doing multiple recipes or even one recipe, it's sort of a visual guide and a guide to help you complete that recipe successfully. So for example, how many times have you been making like a Denver omelet or stir frying something and you stop in the middle of what you're doing because you've forgotten an ingredient and you leave the stove and whatever is on the stove has either burned or overcooked because you had to stop what you're doing? Has that ever happened to you, Tompkins?
Can I not answer because it's live? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But you know what would help me? Mise en place would help me.
Meats and pots. I had a friend who thought we were saying meats and pots. It was really funny. So for years he thought it was meats and pots. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go over a little bit about some mise en place as we go. So I'll be doing the recipes. We're not going to be doing them in any specific order so much as we're going to do them in order that we're going to need the ingredient, right? So for example, we're going to start with the sliders, and we're going to mix the ground beef first, but then we're going to put that in the freezer. So while that's freezing, we're going to do our wings and put those in the oven, and then we're going to move on to our sauces, and then come back, double check on our wings, and then we're going to finish up with some queso, and then at the very end, we're going to finish off completely with our sliders. So I know that was probably a lot. If you have any questions about how it's going or what we're doing, definitely ask Tompkins. He will be available in the chat.
You bet I will. Chat or Q&A? Hit us up, we'll answer.
Are we ready?
I'm ready because I've never had a steamed burger before.
Oh my God.
I'm excited.
Has anybody had them before? You can get them frozen in the freezer section, White Castle.
I feel like it's never as good frozen, right?
What? I mean, like musicians have written songs about White Castle. Like
Maybe
the Beastie Boys do the White Castle fries.
What kind of,
come in one size.
What
Okay,
musician?
Okay,
Can you sing it? Can you sing It's a Bar?
I'm just saying, it's a thing. It's a thing. And if you're on the West Coast, it's Crystal. Okay, never mind.
I'm learning a lot.
Right.
I'm telling you already.
All right, so what we're going to do,
we're in good shape.
What we're going to do is we're going to start making our sliders, and we're going to freeze the patties. And I'm going to show you why we want to freeze them. But I'm using 80-20 ground beef. So we're going to do about
standard.
a pound.
Will you tell folks, like, if you're making a burger, what's what
I like. I like 80-20 ground beef. That's my preference. You can go 90-10, but I wouldn't go any higher than that.
Starts to toughen up.
Yes, yeah. This is, there's a little bit of flavor in there. So I'm at a pound and a quarter to a pound and a half. I'm going to add in the Just Right burger spice. So this is an Adams product. So when you're making the slider, the White Castle slider, typically they have some sort of like onion soup mix or some sort of beef broth. And really what that is this really like good, savory, umami flavor that comes from that onion soup mix that has you know, MSG and other stuff, but I'm using the Just Right Burger Spice because it has this porcini mushroom powder in it, which gives a really, really good umami flavor. I'm a big fan. And also you could just sprinkle it on top of burgers, whatever.
And you can find that in your local Cooking Connection
Yes.
kiosk. That's where they keep those, Just Right Burger Spice.
So I'm gonna do
spice.
about a teaspoon. I'm gonna, you know, teaspoon and a half. I'm just gonna add that in there, and then I'm gonna mix this up. And I'm gonna mix it up really well. And then we're gonna transfer this to a prepared baking sheet. And I've got one right here, and I've just put some parchment paper. You can see that.
So right now it's just the seasoning.
Just the
There's no
seasoning,
oil, nothing.
Just it. This is it, right?
I'm following.
Okay. All right, we're gonna mix it up really well. I can already smell like the onion and stuff that's in the Just Right Burger Spice.
I can't, but it's just because I think I've got
So
a little
far
allergy
away.
thing working.
You're past. Okay. So now I'm going to take this ground beef and I am going to press it into my sheet pan, right? And what we want is like a 1/4 of an inch thickness. So I'm just going to press this
So
in
you're
like
using
this.
a 1/4 sheet pan for anybody that's looking.
And yes, and if you
So is
don't
it
have a
HEB?
1/4 sheet pan, you're looking for like 8 by 10, 12 by 10, just enough so you can get that 1/4 of an inch, that really, really thin patty. And also you want 12 equal squares, all right?
12 equal
Yeah.
squares. Heard.
Okay. Are you taking
while you're
notes,
doing that-
Tompkins?
While you're pressing that out,
Yes.
Chef, it'd be good to note for our folks that are watching or going to be watching this later on YouTube that you can always go check out the latest videos. I think they get added each week to our YouTube HEB channel, so you can check those out. You can cook along with us. You can rinse and repeat as much as you want. You can pause and watch them over and over and over and over and over
rinse and
again.
repeat?
You can rinse and repeat.
All right.
Just like anything good.
I'm gonna add another piece of parchment and smash this. All right, let's see here.
So you're pressing it out again, about a 1/4 of an inch thick
Yep.
for 12
You want
patties.
it to be. Oh, this went so much easier in rehearsal.
Isn't everything?
Right? Okay. Again, that 1/4 of an inch. We're just gonna keep going.
So you're not kidding. These are a thin. This is a
Yes.
thin patty with a.
Yes.
So you probably have to eat like 20 of these to get full, probably.
I mean, that's all relative. That depends on the person. But we have so many other things to eat.
It's true.
Okay. See how that looks. See how we're getting.
It's getting there.
And just because I am who I am, I have to make sure it goes to all the edges. Like I need to have a nice square, like.
You want it. You want it uniform.
Yes, uniform. Good word. Okay. Here we go. That looks good, eh?
Looks good to me, Chef.
Okay. So now what we're gonna do, once we've gotten it good and even, I'm curious if anyone out there has had a White Castle burger.
Our friend Josh just said, I want to see Scott eat 20 of these. And I said, challenge accepted, but not really, because I'd probably, I'd probably, maybe the queso. I'll
That's
go
a
with the
lot.
queso. You start doing
20
that, leave the
okay.
queso. I don't know if I could eat 20
All right.
of those.
Okay, so once that is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a sharp knife and we're gonna make 12 equal burgers, right? So we're gonna cut in the middle, like this. And then we're gonna cut again here, like so. How's my cutting?
Ebby said, we love White Castle. I'm a Midwesterner. And I said, yes, Ebby, this is for you.
Yay!
This right here is for you. Dedicated in your name.
Okay,
So you're cutting them into about 12. Those look really good, actually.
okay. And then we're gonna
Perfect
go
squares.
this way like this.
And so not to jump the gun, but you talked about freezing these. I
Yes.
can see now why you would want to freeze them.
Yes, so that when you go to cook them,
They
I'm
don't
gonna
just
show you a trick. Okay, so
fall
that looks
apart.
good. Now what I'm gonna do is with like a chopstick, so I'm using a chopstick. I never throw these out when I get takeout. I always keep them like in a weird random drawer. You can use a toothpick or a skewer of sorts, but I'm gonna make little holes just like this in the patties. And this is important because this is gonna help steam the patty, all right? Just like this.
I like that trick. Now, why poke holes in it?
Because it's gonna help, so we're gonna cook these on a bed of onions. And it's gonna steam. It's brilliant, trust me. Okay. Keep going. They look like little dice. Dominoes.
I like it.
All right. And then we're going to throw these guys straight into
I feel like
the freezer.
you almost want to make a smiley face on them, but
I
you're
kind
not.
of do. I kind of do.
am looking at
I
it from
kinda
the
do.
overhead cam because I love the sky cam
All
shot.
right. The sky cam.
I'm really excited because tonight we have a griddle cam, which is
We do have a griddle cam.
It is no joke.
It's going to be fun. All right. There we go. Perfect. Get rid of this and get rid of this. And we're going to throw these in the freezer for about 30, 45 minutes until they're frozen and firm. It's really important that they be frozen and firm. So I'm going to throw these in.
Nice and firm. We'll find out later.
All right.
I tell you what, our live cooking show, Charlotte, has made some serious improvements over the time. We've been learning, and we've got the camera so they could follow you all the way to the fridge and then all the way back.
Really?
We have cameras everywhere, and it's going to be awesome because it's going to be like one of the first classes that we get the griddle cam. And Giovanna, this is for you and I. The griddle cam is straight up for you and I, those who are super excited about face-to-face with the griddle cam.
All right, so while that's happening, I'm going to grab our wings from the refrigerator.
Wings in the fridge.
They're in the fridge.
All right, if you're just joining us, it is all about
Okay.
the big game this weekend. Charlotte's putting together, she just did the White Castle Copycat burgers, now we're going on to wings.
And then...
Charlotte, what if I don't like wings? Can I do that? Can I say that? Can I be that
Yes,
guy?
you can. I'm sorry that you don't like wings, but lots of people don't like wings. It's a lot of work for not a lot of return, and that's how I feel about it. Same way with like pistachios with a shell on it. So I like to do like chicken nuggies personally. And the sauces we're gonna make actually go really well. You could do them, like I said, on like chicken thighs, chicken legs, either one.
I like
All right,
this.
so I'm gonna show you guys how to make these super crispy wings. But first what I'm gonna do is we're gonna roast our vegetables for our queso. Typically queso or chili con queso is like Rotel and Velveeta, right? We're gonna level up our queso a little bit, and we're gonna like actually roast our own onions and jalapenos and tomatoes. So really quick, just to do the onion, we're just gonna do the top and the tail. Cut this guy.
You're gonna roast it obviously because Rotel comes from a can. It's not really
and it has
roasted.
that like canned flavor, and I want a little more like, I want a little more flavor. I want a little more oomph, if you will. Thank you.
It's a good word. I'm here to help. That's all I'm here for.
And this is this is the queso recipe that I use at home. This is like my queso recipe. So from like...
I have to admit, when we were doing this in rehearsal, because we rehearsed this, that's the true fact about it. You were talking about your queso, and I was a little shocked, and I'm excited for you to share how you do it, because it's very different than the way I would think some people would do it, but there's a method to the madness.
There is a method to the madness. So even though this is actually a step that could be done a day ahead, so you could roast your onions and stuff ahead of time. So we're gonna do one onion. Let's do the whole onion. You want to, just for good measure. We're gonna do a jalapeno. So for this, I'm actually gonna take off the stem. I don't want that in there, and I'm gonna cut this guy in half. Should we do both? Y'all want it spicy?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, just do them all.
If it's for the kids, you could definitely take the seeds out, and that would be okay. Let's just do one of those. And then I'm going to do a Roma tomato. Throw that in there. We'll do
that Roma tomato is going to provide a little umami as well. The more the tomato, once it kind of caramelizes and gets in there, it's going to add a little more.
And then my like super favorite ingredient right here is going to be canola spray. Super easy, guys, just like this. And then I'm gonna throw this guy in the oven. You can also do this on the stovetop. You would just do like kind of high heat and then just turn them until they get good and charred. It will smoke your kitchen up a little bit. So I'm gonna throw this in at 425. I'm also, at this point, going to put in our garlic for our roasted garlic wing sauce. I wanna get that roasted, so I'm gonna grab that from over here.
Do you need a timer set for anything there, Chef?
Yeah, Chef, you got one available?
I'm always available to be a timer.
So throw a timer up there. Give me 10 minutes on the clock.
10 minutes?
10 minutes and we'll
got
chat.
It.
All right, so I've got some just peeled garlic in a little ramekin. I'm gonna add a little drizzle of olive oil, just like this. You don't necessarily have to cover it. And then I'm gonna put this guy in the oven.
So Chef, when you're gonna roast garlic,
yeah,
Could you just,
like
if you
this.
don't know how to do this or don't want to do it, could you use raw? And what, like, sell me on why we need to do raw. Like, what does it do to the
So that's a really good question. So like, raw garlic is really sharp and almost spicy. It has a very distinct, sharp flavor. Roasted garlic is a little smoother, a little sweeter, and kind of rounds out the edges. It's a really good question. So I'm gonna throw this in there along with our vegetables, just like that. And you have a timer for me?
It's at 9 minutes and 10 seconds, Chef.
All right, we are going to move on to our wings. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys a super cool trick on how to make these wings super crispy in the oven. And you can do it with any chicken that has skin. We're gonna add baking soda. It's a super cool trick.
Yeah. Sodium bicarbonate.
Exactly. It's almost the same principle behind like a dry brine. It changes the pH, you know, and draws out the moisture, so it makes this really, 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 really awesome crispy skin. So good. So there's two parts to the wing. There's the flat, and then there's the drumette. And I was told that a true wing fan has no preference, but some people do have a preference. If you couldn't find these guys already cut up like that, you can get the wing that looks just like this, and it actually has 3 parts. So really quickly, I can show you guys how to break this guy down. You just want to take off the wing tip like that.
Save those for your stock.
Oh, save them for the stock. And then just cut down. And it sort of tells you in the joint where to cut it. Just like that. And you get these little guys. Just like this.
I have to say, I'm a drumstick person, so I guess that makes me not a true wing fan because I like only the drumsticks.
Like a big drumstick?
Yeah, if it was like a bowl
like
full of wings, like just the wings.
Yeah.
And there was no drumsticks, then I'd probably pass on it.
Is it because it's meatier?
Yeah, probably. It's like you get a better handle. I feel like the wing is like, where do I hold it, top or bottom? You know what I mean?
Okay. Are you a sauce guy or a dry rub guy?
Good question. It depends. Both cases. Depends on the sauce. Depends on the rub. How about that?
All right. So there we go. Simple, really easy.
Are you a sauce or are you just a straight dry?
So like I
rub?
said, I am a boneless chicken wing person. Like I prefer to have them in like breaded and fried, and I like to dip, and I like all the sauces. All right, so I'm gonna add these wings to a bowl. And to this, I am going to add some regular salt.
Now, Chef, can we do this in advance? Can this be done in advance?
This can be, yes, it can be done in advance, and that's great, because if you do this in advance and you lay them out in the refrigerator and let them sit uncovered, flat on a sheet tray, it helps that process to dry out that moisture or dry out that skin and remove the moisture and help with that crispy skin. So now I'm gonna add our secret ingredient, which is gonna be our baking soda. It's not really secret anymore.
I'm a big fan of science. Science is cool.
Science is cool.
This is a little science experiment.
And I'm gonna do about a tablespoon. And you just wanna cover them, right? You don't wanna add too much, just to cover. All right, put that aside. And then we're just gonna mix it up.
So toss them to coat, that kind of six, and you want it to have, so this is, you wouldn't do this on a chicken tender then. The baking soda would not go on a chicken tender that was like boneless, skinless.
No, you don't want to do it on a chicken tender because there's no skin there.
You want to have the skin. So baking soda, you want it on a skinned.
Yes, and if you look up here, so I actually did some of the 2 sauces that we're going to do today. So I did the Parmesan sauce and I did the Korean style barbecue sauce, and I put them on chicken legs and thighs. The skin crisps up absolutely beautifully. Like, it's definitely great.
I like it.
All right, so I'm gonna mix these up really well. So at this point, you could add whatever rub you liked, right? So if you're like just a barbecue rub, add the barbecue. If you're a house rub, if you're just a salt and pepper person, this is when you would do it.
So Chef, we got a question from Giovanna. It says, what else is baking soda a good coat for?
A good
coat for?
Coat for?
Good coating for?
So like for proteins or just in general? Obviously proteins.
Sure, yeah.
So the any kind of chicken really.
Any skin on chicken?
Any skin on chicken. Personally, I think chicken thighs are the best.
Proteins, anything with skin? Sure.
Yeah.
Giovanna, I also exclusively wash all my produce in a little baking soda and vinegar.
Do you?
Yep. True story.
I like that.
It all gets a bath in my sink in a bowl to clean it.
Okay. So a couple of like pro tips for like baking or roasting any chicken, you want it to be dry. So like I usually dry everything fairly well with like paper towels or like a clean kitchen towel.
Yeah, the excess moisture will just steam in the oven.
Yep,
Right?
and then you want to make sure that you give them space. So I'm going to bring this right over here. I want y'all to see, like, give them space so that they can breathe and they don't steam each other.
It also is the pandemic. They also need their room and space, right? Does that apply to food?
Social
distancing our chicken.
All right.
You never can be too careful.
No, you can't. Okay, so I'm just going to do a light.
We've gotten our use out of that spray. I'm telling you, that spray's gone everywhere.
This stuff is my favorite. It's my favorite.
Spray in the pan. You don't need just oil anymore.
No,
you just spray everything.
I love it.
Spray it all.
I love it. I love
it's
it.
neater,
I wish
too,
it was like a shorter, squattier can so it would fit in my cabinet. But hey, you know, whatever. I'll take what I can get. Okay, a little bit more salt. Do y'all want to see some pepper on there? Why not? Salt
Yes,
and pepper.
gotta have pepper. Chicken. There's gotta be two things on my chicken: salt and pepper.
All right. So we're gonna throw these guys in the oven. My oven is preheated to 425. All of them preheated to 425 because everything is going in the oven.
Nice hot oven.
And we're going to do about 30 to 40 minutes, so depending on the size of the chicken wing or the piece of chicken that you're actually cooking. This recipe right here translates perfectly to the chicken legs or the chicken thighs. So if you wanted to like move this into a weeknight dinner, absolutely. Or if you wanted something a little more substantial.
Or if you just like to use like a bone-in chicken thigh, if you like something a little more substantial.
All right, we're going to throw those guys in there. You want to do a second timer for me, Tompkins?
Yeah, I got, well, let me see. You got 2 minutes and 53 seconds on the first timer.
All right. I'm going to do
What would you like your second timer to be, Chef?
Like 30 minutes.
I'm going to use the sundial for this next one.
Okay. I'm going to check on, we're going to need a little more time on those.
30 minutes.
Okay, so while that's happening, we are going to start our sauces. So we're going to do a roasted garlic and Parmesan that we talked about. And then we're going to do, which is like a mayonnaise base, it's super wonderful. And then we're going to do the Korean style barbecue sauce, both really easy and don't take a lot of time. If you want more variety, or if you're a true like, you know, buffalo style, we sell all those sauces. You could buy,
we
have an aisle of sauces. I like options, right? And I thought these were fun. And I also wanted something that also would translate into like a weeknight dinner, right?
And something that like, I'm a big visual person.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about food, and so just having something that you can't really tell is on there, except a few things, is great. But like, I think that's why buffalo sits so everybody knows the flavor.
Yeah.
But also like something red or whatever, kind of it goes, ooh, is it going to be spicy? It kind of gets your taste buds kind of waking up.
All right. So here is my mise en place for our Korean style barbecue sauce, and I'm going to do this in this little saute pan right here. And I'm actually really excited about this. This is my favorite.
I am too.
So it's really simple ingredients. We're going to do gochujang, which is a Korean chili paste. It has some fermented brown rice in it and a whole bunch of other things. But ultimately, it's this delicious chili paste, and I love it.
It's amazing.
I'm going to add a little bit of honey to the dish. If honey is not your thing, you could add brown sugar or some agave, but it gives a really good viscosity and sort of that glazing type texture and feel to it.
So you kind of got sweet heat. It's kind of what you're...
I'm going to do some dried ginger. You could definitely use fresh ginger. You could just use the microplane and grate it straight in there. Some sesame seeds, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce. I mean, it's very, very, very easy. So I'm also going to use your favorite ingredient.
My favorite ingredient?
Toasted sesame oil.
You know, in the right amount, Charlotte, toasted sesame oil is good on just about everything.
Okay, we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of that. We're going to add in, we're just going to add everything into this dish. And we don't need to bring it to a simmer. A boil, or like boil it for...
You're just trying to get everything to kind of melt together.
You just want everything to come together. See, I had all my mise en place right here.
You had everything in its place, Chef.
Everything in its place. A place for everything. All right, we're going to add in our honey. And this recipe could be doubled, like, no problem. All right, we're going to do a little bit of the ginger.
Okay, Chef, your first timer just went off.
The what? Ooh, okay. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, Do y'all want to see me actually like measure it? It's like
I prefer when you just kind of.
It's like if you've ever been a bartender,
it.
you know what a pour is.
She missed my joke. It's all right. Wing it. I said I like when you just wing it. Come on.
Oh,
That was
see.
That's B material, but it's the best I've got on
That was good. I see what you did
Tuesday.
there. All right. We'll add a little bit of the rice wine, and that's going to give us that balance from the sweetness and the salty. And we're just going to mix this up. And I'm going to use my microplane for my garlic. Come here, little garlic.
The best tool for grating garlic.
Oh my God, I love this thing. We use it for everything. So far, what would you say we use the most besides gloves and canola spray?
You mean like tools? What do we use the most? Microplane is my all-time favorite tool.
Yeah, it's a good
one.
one.
I use it for cheese. I use it for garlic. I use it for ginger, just like you said. I use it for a myriad of things.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg, absolutely. Cinnamon.
Look, it's so fine. And you don't have to like chop it. Oh, so easy. So easy.
Look at the
Just
color
whisk
of that.
it till everything.
I have to tell you, there's a lot of like dark notes happening over there, but the red is really coming through on the sky cam with all the dark pans and dark cast iron stove.
The sky cam.
Sky cam coming through.
I like it. I like.
Was that salt or was that ginger?
No, these are sesame seeds.
Oh, sesame seeds.
Now, again, like if you wanted to get like super creative, this is just a really good like baseline recipe. You could do some green onions in there. You could do black sesame seeds.
I'm a fan of the white sesame seeds and sesame seeds in general. Black and white both look really good. They're a great contrast. And when they're sitting on the chicken, when you kind of get it all fully tossed together, it just looks very. It just has a flavor. You can kind of tell there's something going on with it that's going to be a little bit more
I'm going to let this cook just a
non-traditional.
little bit. I'm going to do sort of a cleanup right here, and then I'm going to check on our timer that went off.
You're still good on your other timer. While she's checking that, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, YouTube/HEB. Go there, check out all the old classes. You can go there. You can watch them over and over and over again. You can always cook along with us. If there's something you missed the first time, you can go back to our holiday classes, relearn how to make pie. You can pause and play as much as you need to have us be your sous chefs along with you. Again, all those episodes on our YouTube channel.
I'm going to bring this over so you can start to see how everything's getting charred. Oh, this is like the beginnings of a really great salsa too.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All right, I'm going to put that guy back in there, and then I'm going to
grab. That I can smell really well. That smells good.
Oh my God, yeah.
So far, you haven't offered me anything else to try thus far.
All right, so in here is our garlic that we've roasted. I'm gonna peek in here and look, it's like opening. I'm actually gonna move it over so you guys can see too. And we'll see what this looks like. It's almost there. We wanna go a little bit longer. So we're gonna throw
just
that
starting
guy.
to brown? Was it getting any color?
It's just starting to brown.
California tan, if you will.
Okay, that's all right. We're gonna start the sauce anyway. So, right here is everything we need for our sauce.
This is the garlic parmesan sauce, correct,
Yes,
Chef?
and I also roasted some garlic ahead of time, just in case. So I've got a bowl. I've got a little bit of sugar. I've got some Parmesan, some grated Parmesan. And I tried this recipe with like multiple different types of Parmesan. So like you could even use the Kraft can on this one and it's still good. I'm using Parmesan Reggiano that I got in the deli.
Just our pre-grated?
Yeah.
Pre-grated Parmesan.
My little Mise cups. So for a super cheat, I'm using Adam's Reserve Cacio e Pepe like bread dipper. It says it's just for, to dip breads or whatever, but this is perfect. So it has like the pepper and the Parmesan and all of the different herbs that you would add into this sauce, and they're all in one thing. So instead of having to like buy all, right?
Oh yeah.
Right, it's all right here. And I found that when you do this sauce and you do it ahead of time, it tastes better. So the longer it sits, the better it tastes.
And that is that Cacio e Pepe seasoning you can get at our Cooking Connection. If you got a Cooking Connection store near you,
so
you can go in there and grab it.
And for like my friends out there who are who like prefer a dry wing, so just like a dry rub, that is pretty dang good, and it tastes super just like that roasted garlic.
longer you let it sit on there, obviously,
Yep.
the more flavor it's going to develop.
So I'm going to start with like a cup and a half of mayo. We're going to do about 1/3 of a cup of the Parmesan.
Into it.
We're going to add a tablespoon of this. Look, see that? Do you see that pretty color? That's all the herbs.
All the flecks of the herbs. And the...
so pretty. We're going to do about a tablespoon of sugar. You do about a teaspoon of sugar if you like it sweeter.
So why the sugar? Just to kind of contrast or balance?
It's sort of like it balances, right? And it gives this very like, you don't even know it's there. It's very subtle. We're going to do I'm out of knives.
A lemon. So Cacio e Pepe is one of my favorite all-time Italian dishes. I don't have the Google machine up, but I know it's usually it's from like in Rome. They serve it in like a Parmesan frico, a little cup.
Yeah.
I love it. Love to make it. It's just that starchy pasta water, a little bit of butter if you like. You toast the peppercorn, and it's just add the cheese, and it just gets tossed together. So that delicious pasta water.
I feel like
all
it's
starchy,
the
makes a
original mac
sauce.
and cheese.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
All
But
right.
just
Some
fancier.
lemon juice.
With a beautiful
And
toasted pepper.
I roasted some garlic ahead of time. And I've got it right here in this little dish. So you can see how the garlic, is like nice and browned. Like
Nice
I'm
and
going to
soft.
mash it up. Yeah.
It looks very soft, chef.
It is.
So that's where you're gonna get that beautiful garlic flavor, and you're not gonna have that harsh aftertone.
Exactly. And I can like pierce it with a fork, right? Like super tender. And you can even use this oil in your sauce, and it'll give it a really good garlic.
Or drink it.
Oh, that's a you thing, not a me thing.
I'm a fan of olive oil.
All right. Just
Big
gonna
fan.
I'm gonna mash those garlic cloves on the side.
So if you were, so let's just say that somebody watching tonight is like,
Yeah.
I'm a big garlic fan. 3 cloves isn't gonna cut it. Could you add more?
Of course. Of course.
Could add more if you want a little more garlic. There you go.
As much or as little as you like. I mean, it's like it all comes down to preference.
And like you said, the longer it sits, the more flavor it's gonna develop.
Absolutely.
So doing this in advance is a great way to help you in your mise en place.
In your mise en place, you can also, your meats and pots, you can also add like lemon zest, and if you wanted to do like fresh parsley, absolutely. And if there's a flavor that you like more, so if you want more Parmesan, add more Parmesan. Just be careful when you're adding the oil or the garlic oil. If you put too much, it'll separate. Like it'll curdle. All right, we're gonna set this guy to the side right here. I'm gonna do another quick cleanup. We're doing a lot of recipes. Is everybody doing okay out there in
Everybody's doing
recipe
great.
world? All right,
Everybody's
we're gonna check
good.
on. Ooh. I'm like, please don't burn
Now
yourself
I
in
can
front of a
smell
bunch
this.
of people.
Yeah, cast iron leaves a heck of a
Ooh, look
burn
at that.
when it's nice and hot. Turns
Okay.
out cast iron's a really,
Put that
really good
in
conductor
there.
of heat.
Okay, cleaning up. Is everybody doing all right? Any questions so far?
No, everything's good, chef.
All right. We're going to
Still got
move
your
to the cheese portion of today's cooking class. So we are going to start our queso. So I'm going to grab all my ingredients. We've got the vegetables in there roasting away. And I am going to grab my cheese and my milk.
Callie said she can't wait for queso. I know, Callie, it's going to be good.
I mean, this is really selfish. Like, I'm doing this because I want to eat it. I love
Well, that's
it.
okay. That's not selfish. That's just, hey, you're doing the work. You did your mise en place, so you get to
This
benefit.
queso is
from
all
it.
about me right now. It's my favorite thing. People call it chili con queso. People call it, cheese dip. It's queso to me. That's what I
Which
call
means
it.
it's got to be like a ooey pourable cheese, if you will.
Yes, a pourable cheese. So I'm using deluxe American. I prefer a deluxe American or American cheese over like a Velveeta or an Easy Melt because it has a creamier note and it's less salty, sharp note that you'd find with like a Velveeta.
So for those that started making queso using the Rotel and Velveeta, where they just
Yes.
chop it up and throw it in a container, like this is the deluxe versus the Velveeta. What's the big? Is there a taste difference for
Yes,
you?
it's a
Is there-
creamier, softer, like more like it's a more mild
All right.
note.
Now, can I add anything to this? If I take this cheese,
So yes.
Or do you not want to do that?
Some people have preferences. I'm a purist, right? And I prefer it just to be the melted, delicious cheese. But like with the onions and peppers and stuff. But you could definitely, like, say you wanted like a smoky cheese, right? You wanted something a little bit sharper. You would do this base right here. So you would do the 3 cups of milk, the cheese, right? And then you would add, so like, we have that post oak smoked like Gouda or Munster.
Cheddar,
or,
Havarti, mozzarella.
Havarti.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Havarti would be beautiful. You would just melt a cup or so of that in with this recipe, and you would have these really, really nice like smoky notes. That's a good.
Rochelle, did that answer your question? She's asking, what can you use another cheese? And I said it's pretty. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it. I've never used the. I've never used the deluxe cheese, so I have no idea what the flavor is. But you, being the queso queen, have used
am the queso.
deluxe.
I'll take that title.
Plenty.
I'll take it. I'll proudly use that title. All right, so low heat over here. We've got 3 cups of whole milk. You can use half and half if you want. You can use 2%. I wouldn't go to heavy cream. It's just a little too thick for me. And then I'm going to add in my secret ingredients.
Your secret ingredient is what?
Put down.
What was getting me very like, what?
Right? People are like, what? So I'm going to add 8 ounces of water, so 1 cup of water. And the reason I'm doing this is because I like a queso that's really like not thin, but not like overly thick. Like when you pour it, it spreads. It's very pourable.
It's a waterfall versus
and if you,
like a slow lava pour.
If you could put this in like a chocolate fountain, and it could be a queso fountain. Oh, it's so good. So
We actually sell those at H-E-B, chocolate fountains.
Oh my God. So it also, if you don't have like a crock pot or something to serve this in, as it sort of cools, it typically queso will harden, right? Or congeal. I hate using that word, but it'll harden. The water keeps it from doing so. So it stays a little more. I love the word
congeal. I love the fact that when queso goes after an hour, when I make queso, this is how I do it, because I'm only going to use heavy cream. So it's like, but after the hour, it becomes cheese pudding, and then you have to use a spoon to like make quenelles, and then you would eat that. But this one is like, because you like, correct me if I'm wrong, you like to take your chip and just dip it in, and it just barely adheres to the chip. Whew. So it's not super, super thick, right?
Yeah. Ooh, that looks really good, right? So we're going to let that go a little bit longer while that melts. I'm going to look at our garlic.
Closer.
Okay. It's still doing okay. We're going to put that back in.
It's frying up. It's nice, and that's 425 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I keep opening this oven, so there's that. Okay. Throw that in there. And let's see here. We've got our wings. Our wings look really good. I don't want to take them out because I want them to cook, but they're starting to crisp up and get some caramelization. So while that happens, we're going to start on our sliders. So a couple of things to note is I'm using a griddle right here. So we have our griddle cam. It's best for like, people use them for pancakes or English muffins or cooking eggs. Or keeping mini quiches warm at a party.
It's my favorite tool. I love the griddle.
I think it's really perfect, and it's really designed well for this. You could definitely do the sliders on like a cast iron griddle or in a regular like a.
I got you.
This but flat, Tompkins.
I read you
this
flat
but
top,
with
flat
a
top?
flat side. What is like a saute pan?
Yes,
Skillet.
saute pan sounds like. I wasn't even close. I wasn't even in the ballpark.
my
You're on
God.
your own. We also sell the cocinaware at most H-E-Bs that have a GM section.
Yeah.
We sell the cocinaware, those flat griddles, which are great because on one side it has the grill, so you can use the grill. The other side you can do, which is also would be great for that. You can keep it really hot.
All right, I'm gonna turn this guy.
Turn it up. Get ready for the griddle cam, Giovanna. She was ready. We were ready for it. There it is. Boom.
Is it on?
I can already see the bubbling, like onions and. There's no cheese on these, right? No, we don't put cheese on White Castle. Just the oniony.
All right, technical difficulty. Is it plugged in? Did I plug it in, Chef?
It looks like it's plugged into me.
It does? Okay. Just making sure I plugged it in, okay?
We need to give it a second. We're running a lot of power tonight with all these cams, We got all the, is it on?
I'm just kidding. Okay. It's on. Okay. Yes, I did it.
All right, there we go.
But I can't
It should heat pretty fast once you get it on.
It is. I see the light. Everyone. All right, we're going to do medium-high heat, so about 300. If you're doing this on the stovetop, it's medium-high heat.
Medium-high.
Medium-high heat. So I'm going to get my meats and pots. I think that's so funny that he calls it meats and pots. I love it. Okay.
So you got some slider buns. Now, can you use any, do you have to use a slider bun or can we pivot and do something, can you do something else? Like what are some other great things you can do to put this, to serve the White Castle on?
So you can use any kind of slider bun you like. You could use like a dinner roll. The bakery has these beautiful like whole wheat rolls. You could do the,
there you go.
Aloha, like the.
That's the luau pack if I've ever seen it.
This is the luau pack. I think that's really cute. I just saw that today, the luau pack. It's funny. Like
I love the
party
luau pack.
only. Okay.
For when 20 just won't do.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of butter, so about a tablespoon of butter. I'm gonna move that around.
All right, so far all right, I'm in.
Okay.
I was nervous about the steam burger thing. I'm not going to lie to you, but
That's okay.
I'm feeling more comfortable now. You're slowly easing me into this.
Okay. I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to go on this journey with me.
Well, comfortable or not, we're going, right? We're doing it.
Okay. Now I'm using for my diced onions because why do the work when you don't have to? Is the like diced brunoise. Look. Diced brunoise onions.
So I asked you this earlier, but
Okay.
I asked you this when we were doing a rehearsal. Do we? Is it the White Castle typical to have the diced onions like that?
The
Are they
diced
julienne?
onions.
They're not like,
no,
okay,
it's
they're
the small diced onions. This is important. The small diced onions, right? And you do a layer of them on top of the butter, and the sheet on the griddle. Let me get all these things off. And
Any
then,
seasoning? Or you just add a little bit of your? No?
Nope, we're just gonna
All right.
leave that there. And so you don't want to sear or like put a crust on the burger, right? It's steamed, so it's very juicy, very thin patty, and then you get these beautiful onions that have cooked with the juices of the hamburger, and then like the touch of the sweetness from the bun, and then some salty like sour from the pickle. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right, I'm in.
It's a culinary, like it's a masterpiece, if you ask me. All right. I'm gonna grab our patties from the freezer.
So at this point, Chef, if you were to put salt on the onions, obviously you're gonna draw out some moisture, which is not what you may want, because then you're gonna have a little more juice than you, so you wanna let them just kind of go on their own, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so look, so we froze these guys, right? Look at these.
Are they frozen, ready to go?
Right? And they look beautiful. I'm really excited, and like you can start to smell like the griddled onions. I'm very excited.
I know
about
what I
this.
can see and smell. I can see our griddle cam sauteing the onions. I tell you what,
like
man.
saying griddle cam so much.
I'm really impressed. I really love
Our
what's
camera
happening.
crew.
I'm loving. I do. I love the fact that you're getting up close and personal with this, and I like it.
All right. So these are super frozen. Look, see, I can hold it up just like that. And what I'm going to do is
Because it's such a thin sheet, you really only needed 30 minutes to kind of hard freeze it.
Yes.
To where it'll stick together.
Okay, I'm going to peel the parchment
Look at those little
off.
holes. If only we made smiley faces, Charlotte.
I'm
Look at the
sorry.
payoff. That's
I'm
all right.
sorry
Next time,
I didn't
next
do that
time.
for you. Okay, I'm going to peel this off like this.
So do they add, if I went to White Castle and I said, can I have cheese on my burger, would they look at me like I'm crazy?
No,
Would they be
you can
like,
put cheese on it.
You can
And
get
we
cheese on it? Okay.
look, so what we did was we cut them, right?
Yep. Look at that. It's one.
One thing,
sheet.
and then
I'm so impressed. This is the strangest burger I've ever seen in my life.
no, I'm
into
telling
it.
you, I'm very excited. I'm glad. I'm a big fan of this of the
I'm in.
of the White Castle, the original slider. Okay, so with me, along with this recipe, I've also included beef broth. You can use water if you want, and the reason why we have the beef broth is because once the onions, if they start to get too browned, you're gonna lightly just drizzle that beef broth around the edges, and it's gonna move into the center. It's gonna help steam the beef itself, but also keep everything from getting overly like seared and browned.
I'm in. All right, so that's kind of slowly getting there.
Yep.
So in order to not have your onions start to really caramelize, but what if you, obviously, if somebody watching was like, I like caramelized onions, obviously you just tell them to go a little longer and forego the
Of course,
liquid
and it's
on
all
there.
about preference. Like you don't have to, no one's gonna be mad if you don't stick to the recipe like the way
I'll eat
I
it
wrote it.
I'll eat
It's
it the way
just
you
a
want it, Chef.
suggestion.
I'm gonna eat it the way you want it, but you got to put a pickle on mine.
The what?
I'm gonna eat it the way you make it, but I want it.
It
I
has
gotta
to have a
pickle
pickle on
mine.
it. It has to. It has to. All right, so I'm gonna come back and check on our wings. Wings are looking really nice. They're starting to brown and crisp up. It's really
My timer
hot in that
says
oven.
7 minutes, chef.
The what?
My timer says 7 minutes that
Okay.
you had on the wings.
So this right here is exactly what we want, right? This is perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this over here, I'm gonna let it cool for just a moment before I chop it up and throw in the queso, okay? I'm gonna put this
Love it.
right
Smells
here.
good. I'm going to remind you later when you go to grab that to chop it, that may still be hot as a word of warning because I do that all the time. There it is.
Okay.
Don't burn yourself.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of our...
What? Griddle cam. So it's just going to kind of steam them a little bit?
It's silly that I'm so excited about this.
I'm excited because I know if I went to go to H-E-B to go buy, I know we carry the frozen White Castle burgers. It's not going to be the same. I want the
Really
original
excited.
experience.
Okay. You can kind of break them up a little bit. I'm so excited about this. Okay. I'm going to kind of do a quick cleanup right here because I'm going to get ready for our wings. And it's definitely okay if you have to do these sliders in batches. Totally fine. I think I'm going to use for the first round of sliders, I'm going to use just a plain bun.
Plain slider bun.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to do the thing where you're going to take it all off together and put them all on top together?
Are you excited?
I only knew that because you were cutting it surgically open as if you were removing clothes from a patient to do an operation.
So I'm gonna take these guys, and this actually works perfectly with the Aloha roll. You could just cut them through the middle, and then they're already stuck together. I'm gonna use a potato roll because it's really what I wanna eat right now, and
Hey,
again,
that's what it's all about.
we've had this conversation about the things that I want to eat versus, all right.
So you're putting the lids go on.
Yep, but I'm gonna
Okay.
wait. I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna flip that.
Okay.
And there are the bottoms, and we'll get a plate. What was I gonna, let me get something too.
Plate sounds like. Is it plate?
My bowls.
Or was it a bowl?
I'm getting my mise en place ready for my wings when they come out of the oven.
And you
So-
have counting down 4 minutes on those, chef.
On that, okay. Oh, I just made a big mess. Okay.
Still steaming.
Still
cooking.
steaming. Okay. All right, guys. Come here, you. All right. Oh, I found some hot spots on this grill. All right.
I love it. Griddle cam. So at H-E-B, if you're looking at buying a griddle, and this is what's going to set you over the edge, we carry, I know at least 2 different kinds of griddles at H-E-B, so there are a couple different ones that you can do. I mean, they're all great, and they're all pretty inexpensive as that goes. I think the most expensive one's $29, I believe. So it's a great tool, and you can use it over and over and over again.
This guy,
Flip
the griddle.
it, flip it. You got this, chef. You got this. I believe
I feel
in
like
you.
I'm at what is it where they do
Hibachi restaurant?
Yes. Okay. Right. Bleep. And you can see all those grilled onions on there. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna cut them.
Because they're so thin, you really don't need much time to get them
No,
to that.
you don't.
It's okay, so our burger basics. You got 80-20 ground beef. That's
80,
what you
20
went
ground
with.
beef. There it is.
It's a good one. You didn't,
Yep.
they're not getting hard seared. This
Nope.
Copycat Slider is gonna get steamed with the onions.
Yep.
You went butter, you went onions.
Should have
You
cut
let them
them
cook a little
earlier, but
bit.
that's okay.
You
Yeah.
add a little bit of you add the frozen patties at the top that
Yep.
are really thin, about 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, I broke. It broke.
You flip, that's okay. Hey, when it's between the 2 pieces of bread on the slider,
delicious.
it's gonna be okay.
Yes. Okay, here we go. I'm super excited about this. I feel like a kid. I feel like I might be excessively excited about it. All right, queso.
Is it getting there? Is it melting?
Ooh.
So now you put in everything together. Like as a quick note for folks that are watching, you didn't have to wait to the cream or the milk to get steamed up or whatever.
Nope, I added everything
went
together.
In together and you're bringing it all up to 10.
That's another like beautiful thing about American cheese is that it's like this beautiful emulsifier. And so like when I do macaroni and cheese at my house, I often throw in a couple of handfuls of like American cheese just to keep it all like.
Yeah, to get it all, just melts so nice.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take some of these vegetables, these onions, tomatoes, and whatnot, and I'm gonna turn them over onto a cutting board. I don't know if y'all can see me. You can sort of see me. I went way too.
We see you, chef. The cam gets everything.
Here, let me move that out of the way. And I'm just gonna rough chop this. I'm not gonna be precise about it.
So again, this is something nice that as you're dipping your chip in there, you just get a little piece of an onion or a tomato or whatever.
And then as it sits on the stove or wherever, these flavors all like marry together, and it's really nice.
So Rotel, Schmotel, when you got the roasted veggies like that, right?
Look at that.
And that didn't take a lot of work, right? Nothing against Rotel if you throw a can of Rotel in there, but those are like, we roasted it. It was very easy to do.
Ooh, okay. We might be getting too much caramelization. So now at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some cheese, American cheese. I've already quartered this stuff up.
What kind of cheese is that again, chef?
Deluxe American. I love American cheese. I think there's a certain cheese, like every cheese has a time and a place, right? Or there's
All right, that's your timer for the chicken wings. Everybody heard.
I'm gonna put a pickle. Boop, boop. Look at that. And then I'm gonna go like this.
And the buns go on top.
Y'all, seriously.
There's a lot of aromas going on in this kitchen right now, and I'm starting to smell the burgers coming through a little more strongly.
You know what I didn't grab in my mise en place madness? Is a plate.
Tell me.
Is a plate, chef.
I got you.
You got me?
Going way back.
That's teamwork. Okay, here are wings. Ooh-wee.
Teamwork's the only way this dream's gonna work.
Okay. I'm gonna put these guys right here. Ooh,
look at that.
Coming
crispy
out of
wings.
the side, I got a plate. Okay.
Don't forget my pickle, chef. Don't forget
No, I already put them on. Weren't you paying attention?
Okay, no, I was getting you a plate, sorry.
I put them, they're already on there. Look at this guy. Okay. Let those cool. Stir my queso.
And so do you want to toss the wings hot versus like room temp?
Okay, so that's a really important question. I'm gonna finish this really quick.
That was a great shot from that camera to see the cheese sticking to the side. It's getting a little more ooey gooey.
Bloop. And you get all those like cooked onions.
So if one of our fantastic, if you watched one of the last couple classes, we've had our fabulous dietitians in. Would this be a serving for one person, what you've got there? Would that be a serving for one?
So according to like White Castle mythology,
which is a real thing,
would eat an entire package. I'm gonna move these over. One would eat an entire box of White Castle burgers.
Then that makes sense then.
So like you could be like super cool and put like a cute little pick with a cherry tomato if you want, or you just do it straight like that. Should we add some more to the thing?
We want the OG. Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
Put some more on here. Doing it in batches. I'm gonna add another tablespoon of butter because.
Is your griddle still on?
My griddle's still on. All right.
Just batch after batch.
And then I'm gonna this. Just put that guy right there, like this. And I'm gonna break them up a little bit while they're frozen. Okay. Ooh, danger. It's slippery, okay?
The griddle cam. The griddle cam.
Ooh, you know
looks
what?
good though. I can smell the.
Okay.
The
I
butter
forgot
and
about my. I didn't forget about it. They're
What'd you
easier
forget
to break
about?
apart when they're frozen. Just pro tip when it comes to sliders.
There you go.
You heard it
Gio
here
said
first.
keep the pro tips coming. There's your other pro tip, Gio.
Okay.
Break them up while they're frozen. A little broth, steam them up or on the sides.
Okay. Moving to our wings. So here is that. There's our Parmesan sauce right there. I'm going to throw some into the bottom of a bowl. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab our wing sauce, our Korean style. I'm going to put some of that in the bottom right there.
Looks nice. These are going to get a bath right now.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to throw these guys in there. Oh, mama. I just did the oh, mama on camera. I'm super embarrassed. Okay.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
We'll do this like that. I say just for funsies, we add a little bit more parm. And then we just sort of mix these guys up.
Toss.
I'm going to throw some.
So the warmer hot wings are going to help everything kind of adhere to it.
Yes,
Obviously, in your
and
Parmesan
then-
sauce,
yes.
kind of warm it up to just make it a little more
Super important.
malleable,
Yes.
if you will.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. So many things happening right now. My mise en place was like on point. Right. Get rid of this guy. And I'm going to mix those up. And I have something fun to plate them on right here.
Whoa, that's fancy.
I know, right? I just brought some fun stuff
Well, it
from
is
my
the big
house.
game. You know what I mean? You got to do
It is the big
you gotta do a little-
game. Right?
And if you're only there for the commercials and appetizers, there's nothing wrong with that. And you'll have some killer appetizers to go with.
I am only here for the commercials and appetizers. The camaraderie.
That's right.
You know, full disclosure, I'm a basketball fan.
Are you?
Yeah.
I
a
like
lot
it
of
to
action
be.
for me.
Yeah, I just like it to be a good game. I just want it to be a good game. If it's a good game, not a blowout, so it's worth watching, you know.
I found the hot spot on the griddle, y'all.
Is it towards you?
It's right here like this. Oh my gosh. Just like that. I'm gonna mix these guys up. Whoop.
That already looks so pretty because it's got that beautiful color, and you get the little flecks of the sesame seeds in there. I like the touch. It's a good note, Charlotte. The black and the white sesame seeds. Good
Yeah.
contrast to the wings.
Yeah, for sure. You can serve this with extra sauce on the side, or look, watch, we could go like this. We could do this little snacking platter type thing. We got this going like that.
Snack platter. I like that.
I'm gonna save these for me.
Look at that.
And now I'm gonna move this right over here like that.
The queso
The
fountain.
queso.
Fountain.
Y'all ready? Okay. So I have this like, you know, fun stuff from around my house. I've got this little like crock, and I'm just gonna like ladle some queso into this guy. Oh man. Y'all, I'm in my happy place.
So you ladle the queso.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So the water. So I see how you say
With
it's
the
much
silliest,
more. It's
the
much more
silliest
runny.
ladle. Yes.
No, that's what our dietitian would call it. That's a great tool for
portion control.
serving portions. Exactly.
Okay. Oh my God, it's like hot soup. I love it. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little cleanup on this guy right here, just like this. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy in there, and then sometimes when I do like queso or queso for a crowd, I do a little bit of like a queso bar. And I bring in some like fun things, right? So like I'll put some black beans and some jalapenos and different things for people to sort of dress up their queso or dress it down. Guacamole goes great. And I mean like this, just like this. And we can even do, I have some diced up brisket. How does everybody feel about that? Like.
Oh no, stop. What a terrible thing to put
Stop, what a
on
horrible
queso.
idea.
I mean, you got everything else. You may as well throw it all in there, right?
Look at this.
Some brisket, queso.
And this is sort of like to personalize your queso. What do y'all think? Should we put some of that
I'm
in
down
there?
with this. Yeah, I think you could do. So now, so as I'm looking at your queso bar, what you're also like bringing to mind for me is like an ultimate kind of nacho bar where I could just slather a bunch of chips out there and just pour that hot cheese all over them with all that stuff.
Of course.
Call it a day. That way you don't have to like, because who hates trying to throw like cheese on the nachos and throw them in the oven and you're like, whoops, I overcooked them or did whatever. Like that's just melty cheese already ready to go.
Ooh, I think I over caramelized these guys.
That's okay. Those will be for
These
me.
are for,
The
they're perfect.
caramelization.
I think they're perfect. And I mean, it's that easy.
Just that easy.
Like, that's it. You could do half of these now, half of these later. Super easy.
All of them now?
I'm gonna throw cheese on top of these guys, and that's it. I mean, it's like snack time, game time, treat time. And that's it, and we're done, y'all. We're done. We did 5 recipes in 1 hour. Everything's finished. You could do a curbside order and pick that stuff up, save yourself some more time. I mean, super easy stuff. And again, these sauces that we did for the chicken wings go great on chicken thighs, the natural drumsticks, super easy. And I'm so glad that you all decided to spend your evening with me and Scott Tompkins. If y'all missed anything, you can always check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/HEB, and see stuff you may have missed. And to check up our lineup for our upcoming classes, go to heb.com/classes. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.